Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. This is your friend and host, Iggy, and today I'm going to talk about some G.I. Joes that I found in one of the boxes that I took out of storage last week. These are the final items of things that I have filmed. In fact, let me turn around and give you a quick view. All this stuff here is going back to storage, and I'm going to bring out some other things to share with you. Now, this I had nicely displayed up here and everything, but I had so much trouble opening the boxes that I decided I better just. There was too much time with me fumbling with the box lids, and I'll talk about that in just a second of why that is. So, where should we begin? How about if we talk about this figure over here? No, that's not it. What did I do with it? Maybe it's the soldier? Yes, okay. Well, check this out. This has never been played with and is not been removed from the box to my knowledge. However, his fatigue cap is missing and also his field manual is missing. But check that out. I open it up and I go, what the hell happened? His arm is missing, and I look in the box and it's in 3 pieces. Check this out. I'm sorry, I can't see very well what I'm doing here. All right, I dropped one of the pieces on the floor. I can't see it now. Maybe I should start this video over. But this is my second time doing this. But his arm disintegrated. I'm not sure what would cause that. But since we're here, I'd show you the coffin box. The originals, they came in this color with tape on the corners, but they also came in just a plain box, not painted green like this. I think I prefer this one here. However, the tape is a problem, and I'll show you why. Here's a piece of the tape that would close the corners of the box, and it dries out and just falls right off. Like, look at it. Here's another one just fell off. And here's what happens. The tape dries out, it falls off, and the box is difficult to close that way. Now this one, oh God. I need a bigger table to work with, guys. This is making me nervous. But unfortunately, I live in a very small place. I wanted to show this one to you. This is why I opened it up, was to show you the fatigue cap. Now, the early prototypes of G.I. Joe came with cloth caps like this one. And the soldier and the Marine both had cloth caps like this. They did have variants in that the Air Force came with a orange uniform or a marigold uniform. And the coffin boxes are very good, well, apart from the tape drying out. But they look like the ones years ago, except they have this on an anniversary edition so that you can distinguish it from an original. I'm sure not. His hand is, what is that? It's like an extra arm. Or is that a leg? You know what? I think that's part of a leg. Or maybe it's an arm. I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't know how it got like that. But I've noticed that plastic over the years gets really brittle and just will snap very easily. Now, there is a difference between the anniversary editions and the originals in that, gosh, I have no place to put anything. This is the paperwork that comes with the 40th anniversary. You'll notice right away, for those of you old enough to remember original G.I. Joes, vintage G.I. Joes, the manual is too big. It doesn't fit in the box the way the original manuals did. Hasbro made two different size manuals, one this size for their equipment cards and a smaller one to fit in the coffin box. The paperwork is the same, however, it is missing one thing that the originals had, and I'm going to share that with you now. I have an illustration that shows, jeez, dropping everything. Okay, here's the contents of an original. It has instructions how to remove the boot, it has stickers. The Joe came with a dog tag, and then came with a little pamphlet that says join the G.I. Joe Club. And then it came with one of these. Now, this is different than the one they put in the coffin box. This is one that they would have put on a... well, I think later they did start putting them like this, but the originals, see where that black line is? They were folded there, and so it fit nicely into the coffin box. I think there's an illustration in here showing that. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Almost there, guys. I'm not quite sure what that is. Here we are. There, this is the size that came with mine. Equipment checklist. Apparently, this came with the figure sets. I have it backwards. This came with the coffin box. And this one said it came with carded uniforms and equipment sets. And it shows here that if you have one, it's worth $5 now. I have one, but I don't think it's $5 because I wrote on it. And here's some of the paperwork that came with G.I. Joes. They varied somewhat. And here's the manual. Well, it looks like the manuals are going for pretty good money. And this shows a coffin boxes. I guess my 40th is like this one here. By the way, guys, I called up G.I. Joe years ago, or Hasbro rather, when they, I think he does the G.I. Joe Encyclopedia also. I called them up when the 50th anniversary was coming up, and I could tell they weren't too keen on me asking about whether or not they're doing a 50th anniversary. They just weren't interested. I just got hardly any response at all from them because they weren't interested. Apparently, they got a new product manager or something, and he was not too keen on GI, although he did like the little ones. I don't care for those. I prefer these larger ones. The reason I don't like the other ones is because they're like fantasy soldiers or comic book soldiers. I prefer the real soldiers. And then buried underneath all these boxes is a guy. I think I've hopelessly mixed these up now. I have a Navy figure, and the reason I wanted to show you that is he also has the prototype type cap. Instead of the plastic Dixie cup cap, he's got a cloth one. But like I said, they discontinued that once mass production began. The uniform on this figure is very nice, by the way. My very first G.I. Joe was a sailor who was instantly blonde, just like this one. And this is 40th anniversary set number 7. And it came with the life jacket, semaphore flags, blinker light, and binoculars. Now, on board larger ships, they would have used a very large, like, spotlight that had, like, Venetian blinds on the front of it, and they would pull a handle like this, and I'm blanking out. The blinds would close and open, close, open, close, depending on how long and frequently they did it. The message could be sent that way. They would have used semaphore flags also if they didn't have, the lights could get damaged in battle. And from a very far distance, these handheld devices would not be quite as visible as the larger spotlight ones. But the Navy would have used these like maybe 150 years ago. Now, my brother learned how to send messages with the semaphore flags. And depending on your movements, it would correspond with different letters. Now, in this Navy manual, they show some illustrations on how to use the semaphore flag. So I thought that was pretty cool. When I was in grade school, my friends and I would send messages back to each other using the semaphore flags, because the girls would steal our messages, and they didn't know what they said because we had it in semaphore flags. We'd draw little line drawings of a semaphore flag. It's kind of corny, but that's what boys do when they're that age. Now all they do, I think, is go like this with a phone or something. And you can see some of the damages as the tape dries out. Okay, guys, I want to put these away and pack them up so that I can go to storage tomorrow and get some more things to share with you. And I still have no clue what happened here. That's weird. Anyway, thanks for getting Iggy with it. Thank you for joining the Iggy Army. Thus concludes another episode of Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. Stay tuned next week for another episode of Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. Same bad time, same bad channel. This is Iggy saying, that's all, folks. Why don't we go down the dusty trail to Roy Rogers Ranch? We'll hit the chuck wagon. We'll get some beans and bacon, and we'll maybe listen to Cheap Trick or Alice Cooper, whoever you want to listen to, and we'll have a good time. Why not listen to Roy and Dale Evans? That would be fun too. Happy trails to you until we... Iggy, that's enough. Stop it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll go now.